Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kuri. So today we'll be making this basque waist gathered dress with this stylish neckline. So if this is something you would like to learn, please make sure to stay tuned, like and share. So it's just I'll be making this with 2 years of fabric. I just have this Indian George here. I didn't buy it for this tutorial. I just have it at home. So that's what I'll be using. Here I've drafted out my front pattern. So it's just your normal basic body. I've cut out the neck slope. This is my half length from the shoulder to the half length is 18 inches. My half length is 17 inches. I made it 18 inches because I'm going to add a bust that, but I'm going to close it up. I'm going to slash it and close it up. So that's why I made it 18 inches. The back is going to be 1 inch shorter. So the back is going to be 17 inches instead of 18 inches. When I close up the start, it will meet. So for you to get this bust start, from your armhole, you go down by 2 inches. If you go down by 2 inches, that's your bust that line. You go down by 2 inches. On that 2 inches line, you go up by half inch and go down by half inch. My bust that length is 4 inches. So that is what I have here. So you just connect it. So the neck width that I'm using for this tutorial is 3 inches neck width. The depth is 3 inches. So, but there's something, it's going to have a bust here. It's going to have a dart. So I'm going to be drafting out the dart. This is my chest line. That is 8 inches. But that is not where I want mine to start from. I want mine to be like 7 inches. It's like it has something like, what is it called? It's the front is somehow like a tube dress. So I'm going to, instead of using my chest line, I'm going to use 7 inches, or um you can even use 6 inches if you don't want your cleavage to expose much. So I'm going to mark out 6.5 inches instead of 7 inches. That is where I want it to start from. So I'm marking 6.5 inches instead of that. So that's my 6.5 inches line. I'll connect it straight to the armhole. So this is what I have. I might still reduce it if I find it that is going to so let me just make it 7 inches instead of, so that it will come out like the one. But let's just work with this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 4 is 4. So divide by 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm going to mark 4.5 half inches for the joining. So from this line also I'll get my underbust. My underbust is 15 inches. So I'm marking out my underbust. I'm taking from the shoulder line. So I'm marking my underbust. So once you get your underbust, you're going to connect the lines. So the next thing is to get your bust points. Remember, I said that I normally go up by 4 inches. My other bust line, I go up by 4 inches. You can measure your bust points from your shoulder to to your bust. That is your bust points now. Yeah. So after getting my bust point, I'm going to connect the lines. So this is what I have. So I will label this. This is my bust point. Bust point. This is my under bust, and this is my half length. Here is my, let me say, yoke line. Yoke. Here is my yoke. And this is my chest line. Let me not just confuse you with the chest line stuff. So this is what I have. I feel like I still need to, I'm going to use 7 inches instead of 6.5. So I'll bring down my yoke to be 7 inches. Or you can use 6.5. You don't want your cleavage to show. So it's almost the same. So this is now my new yoke line. This is my yoke line. So the nipple to nipple line, I'm going to connect this is 4.5. My nipple to nipple is 4.5. That is your bust point to bust point divided by 2. Whatever you get, you add half inch for the joining allowance. So instead of 4 inches, I have 4.5. So I'll connect my bust point to my bust point line very well. So the next thing now is to do the dart intake. The part going towards the left hand side, I'm going to take 1.5 inches. The one coming towards me, I'm taking 1 inch. On the other bust, I'll take 1.5 inches. I'll go out by 1.5 inches and come in by 1 inch. Yeah, because I just want it to have a little curve. So I'll connect the line. I'll connect it straight. So on the bust point line, I'll come down by half inch. And I'll go up by half inch just to give it a little lift. So from the underbust, I'm going to connect to the bust point, and from here I'll connect. So I'm just doing that with my curve. I'm not going to curve it too much. Just something like this. And also here, I'll give it this type of curve also. From the bust point, from that half inch that I went down with. So this is the curve that I have. I'll try to straighten it a bit so that it will not be too curvy. Remember that we are not making a padded dress, just that we want it to have a little curve. So this is what we have. So on this yoke line now, on the dart line, so here I'll come in by half inch and go out by half inch, so that this is to tighten the upper part, and go out by half inch. So I'll connect it to this bust point. So this is the way I'm going to connect it to the bust point. So this is what I have here. So the next thing now is to cut the next thing now is to curve the neckline. So because I don't want this to be deep on this point now, I'm going down by 1 inch or half inch because I don't want it just to give it a little sweetheart neckline. So I'll curve it this way. Remember that on this yoke line, I went down by half inch. So I'm going to just draw a slant sweetheart neckline. Just something like this. So that is my front neckline. So the next thing now is to draw that neck line that we want the yoke. So on this shoulder line, on your shoulder line, I'm coming in by half inch because I don't want it to be too wide. I'm coming in by half inch. Remember that you're still going to do the same to the back, come in by that half inch. So I'll come in by half inch on the shoulder line. I'll come in by half inch. Then I'll connect it straight to this point. So you can connect it straight. You can just draw a little curve. So I'm just going to dot it to that neckline, to the yoke neckline. So this is how it's going to look. So this is how it's going to look, but I feel that I should make mine, I should give it a little curve. So from here now, I will draw the kind of curve that I want. So I want it to come like this. I want it to have a little curve to that shoulder point. So this is what we have. This is what we have. And this point is just going to go straight. So now is to take your measurement. So I'm going to take my waist measurement is 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. I'm going to check how many inches that I have here. I have 2.5 inches that I'll replace it. I'll replace the 2.5 inches that. So I've not added my allowance. So the bust is my bust is
So instead of you to replace
39.
1 inch, that
I will mark
replace it by
39.
half
Then
inch.
I'll
Just
add the
measure
allowance that I want to
half
use. I'm
half
adding
inch
1.5
there
inches
just to
allowance or
avoid
1
gaping.
inch
Don't replace it by
allowance.
1 inch. Just
So here you are not meant to cut
replace it
this
by
armhole
half
or cut
inch
this part because
instead
you're
of
meant to
one
replace
inch.
this. You're meant to replace this 1 inch that you took. So I'll just get the paper and place it so that you will understand it very well. I made a mistake that I'm going to correct now. Remember that the front part is a tube. It's just a tube, then that's yoke. So the mistake I made is that I cuffed the armhole. That's why I'm using a colored fabric for you to see. This is the side. It's only the side, the center, the side. That is the side seam, the center side seam. That is the place that I made the mistake. It's not meant to have this armhole curve because you're not going to be attaching a sleeve to that. So instead of you to give it a armhole curve, you're going to curve it in order for you not to have this curve at all, this armhole curve at all. So once you're cutting your side seam, from that, remember that this is the place that stopped. So instead of you to start curving the armhole, you are just going to curve this way. You're going to curve the way it is. You're curving. So just curve it something like this. You see, the difference is that this place is not going to have this armhole stop. Just curve it this way. Just you're going to curve. It's coming like this, and you go down a bit. Just for that armhole part, you go down a bit. Just slant it, just like you're drawing an S. Just S like this, just S form. So it's going to be like this. So if you see it now, I'll connect it to the side seam. Look at it now. It doesn't have all this any angle curve. So I'm going to cut it. I hope this is clear enough. So I'll curve it for you to see how it looks now without that angle curve. So this is how it should look. You see, there's no armhole curve again. Even if you look at how it's looking, this is how it should look on your fabric. Please avoid this armhole curve because there's no place for you to attach your sleeve. So it's just the front that is like this. Please note that it should be like this. That it should be like this. We are not making use of this. Let me fold it in so that you know that it's the red. The shape should be in this red. I finished cutting it when I remember that I'm not going to attach sleeve. So this is how it should be. Instead of you to curve the angle, you just curve it in this S form, then take it down to your seam line. So that is just it. I'll retake my bust measurement again because I don't want to add much allowance. So I'll retake my bust measurement, which is 9.75. I'm adding 1 inch allowance. So this is 1 inch allowance, or you can add up to 1.5. Remember that I'm here to add any allowance here. So I'll connect it this way. I'm here to add my allowance on this skirt part, on the waist part. So the bust allowance now, I'm going to retake that bust. I'm going to retake that bust. So on my armhole line, I'll go down by 2 inches. So on that 2 inches, I'll mark half inch up and half inch down. And half inch down. Then the length of my bust that will be 4 inches long. So I'll connect it this way. Then I'll connect all those half inch together. So I'm going to close up this dart. I'm going to close it up. Look at how I'm going to close it. I'll close it up this way. I'll pin it. I'll hold it with my pin. I'm closing it this way. So you now see that the side is going to match with the back. Once you close the bust that, the side is now going to match with the back. So this is what I have. You are going to connect it very well to make sure that you are not running shortage at the side. So this is it. I'm going to cut it out. So watch how I'm going to cut it out. I'll leave this side apart. I'm going to cut the neckline because you'll be needing it. I'm cutting it. So we are left with the yoke. I'm now going to cut the yoke. Watch how I'm cutting the yoke. So this is what I have for the yoke. So the next thing now is to, so we don't need this again. I'll place it aside. So I'm going to cut the dart. I first of all cut this dart. So this is this is the center front. I'll do the side. So I've not forgotten that I'm adding my 1 inch allowance to this. So this is what we have. If you are cutting on your fabric, you are going to cut it this way. You don't need to open the dart. You are cutting it exactly this way. So when you open it up, this is what it's going to look like. This is how it's going to look like. This is how it's going to look like. So I'm going to work on the down part. The back, I'll cut the back and show you what to do. So here is the down part. The down part has a back. It's very short because the total length I want for this my dress is 38 inches. Plus the folding, joining, and everything is going to be 38 inches. So 38 inches minus my half length, which is 7 inches, you will have, which is 17 inches. 38 minus 17 is 21. You will be left with 21. So 21 now it will have a ruffle. That is the ruffle part. So, and it will also have a skirt that you're going to attach the ruffle. You will not just attach the ruffle to the half length. So what I'm going to do is that I'll minus my half length, which is I'll be left with 21. So I'll now determine the length of my ruffle. I want my ruffle to be longer than the middle part. This is the middle part. So the middle part, I will use 8 inches for the middle part. That is the length of my middle part that will be attaching to my half length and to the ruffle to be 8 inches. So 21 inches minus 8 inches, you will be left with 13 inches. So the length of my ruffle is going to be 13 inches. So the middle pattern is 8 inches. You can make yours longer or shorter. So this is what I have here is 9 inches. I added 1 inch for the allowance. So here is my waist. I got my hip location. I use 7 inches for my hip location because this is very short already.
So
So
to
this is very
create
short
the
already.
basque
My
effect
hip
on the
location is going to
hip
be 8 inches.
line,
If I
I
have 8
went
inches, I will
up
have nothing
again
left.
by
Or
two
you can still
inches.
do
Instead
it.
of
Just
doing
want to have a place to start
directly
doing
on
my
the
curve.
hip line,
So what I have
I
here is
went up
my hip
again
location is
by
7
two
inches. My full length
inches
is 9
so
inches.
that
So
you
I
will
took my
get
waist
the
measurement plus
basque
1 inch allowance.
effect very well.
My hip
If you
measurement
just
plus
cut it
also one
directly
inch
on the hip line, it
allowance.
may not give you that
So
basque
that is what I
effect. So
have
I
here. The
just
next thing
went up by
now
two
is to create
inches
that
again
basque
on the hip
effect.
line,
So
then slanted it to the center front. This is what we have.
your 1 inch zip allowance if you're cutting the back and cut exactly what you have. This is the back. The folded part is where your zipper allowance is going to be. So you just, this is what you have. So I will now draft the back of this offline. It's just the same thing. I'll just draft it and show you guys how you're going to do it. Then I'll cut this on my fabric. If you're cutting, just add half inch to the center line. Also center this thing. So you also add half inch here. We are going to add half inch around the splits. That is the yoke. You're adding half inch also. So I'll do all that and show you the next thing to do. So here is the back. The neck width is 3 inches, the depth is 1 inch. Then I also added my zipper allowance. Then when it comes to this shoulder line, remember the front part you came in by half inch. I also came in by half inch. Then I did my armhole curve. The back, you don't need to add any bust darts to the back. The back that doesn't have a bust. So I also added that to the back. So I just added that to the back, but I'm going to close up this dart just like I did with the bust dart. I don't want to start adding that to the back, so I'll close up the dart. Why I replace the allowance. It's just that I don't want it to be physical on this thing. So I'll close it up like this. When I'm cutting it, I'll just close it up and pin it. I'll just do that now. So I'll close up the dart. So I've closed up my part. So you know that you're not going to be attaching sleeve, and this part is just going to be open. So just to reduce gaping, just to remove any gaping on this armhole part, I'll just go down by from here. I'll go down by 3 inches. Then I'll take what off, and it's not up to half inch. So I'll just take a little here and a little here, connect and close it, just to avoid any gaping. That's why I'm doing this. Just remove a little that, then I'm going to close it. So there's no this thing here. Or if you can leave it like that, there will be no gaping. Just a little, just take a little thing and close it up to not be really obvious. It's not up to half inch, just to avoid any gaping there. So it's not to half inch, just something that is very little. So this is what we have for the back. So this is what we have. What I took is very, very little. So this is what we have for the back. So I'm just going to place it on my fabric and cut exactly what I have here. You're also going to cut the lining because you're going to be closing the armhole. So cut a lining for this. Add half inch to this. This that you took, replace it here. So that when you sew it, it will not be too tight. This quarter of an inch that you took, just replace it on this shoulder line so that it will not be too tight on you. So that is just it. So I will cut this on my fabric, cut the lining, and start joining it. So I'm done cutting it, and this is what I have. Like I said, the center part, you're going to add half inch here. Also add maybe quarter of an inch to the upper part. So this is how it looks. And here, so you're going to cut a lining. My fabric is not enough. If you have enough fabric to use it as lining, you can go ahead and use it. So, and also make sure maybe also use the same lining here on this yoke part. So this is what I have. So these are the side. There's the two side. This is the side. This is how it's going to look. So you're going to join it starting from the up. You are joining it starting from the up, and also join this starting from the up. While you are going to turn this, you are going to turn this. You turn the neckline. You cut exactly the same thing. You turn the neckline, top stitch it. Also turn this part. Turn here. Just leave a little allowance to pull it out. I'll show you that. And here is the here is the skirt part. Here's one part of the skirt, and here is the back part. So I'll join this. If you have enough lining, line this part also. Here is the back. Also not line the back. Close up the armhole. We're going to close up the armhole, the neckline. So after doing that, I'll come and show you. Then for this is what I have. This is what I have. The total length I have for the ruffle is 128. That is what my fabric can do. So I'll just hem the down part, attach it, run it with a loose stitch, my gather stitch, and gather it and show you guys the next thing to do. So I've gone ahead to fold my ruffles. The total length is 128. That is what my fabric can give. But if you have enough, make it 180 or 200 or 200 so that it will be very full. So I've gone ahead to also gather it. This is what I have. So I'm sure you know how to maybe gather it and fold it. So this is how it's going to look. I'll place this aside. So here is the yoke part. So my fabric was not enough to give me for me to use the fabric as my lining. So I used a colored lining that is red to line the yoke. So this is it. After the first thing to do is to close up the neckline, top stitch it, then close up this part and close up this part. To pull it out, you are going to pull it. I didn't close the shoulder, so you are going to pull it out from the shoulder. So you just take one and pull it out from the other shoulder. So I'm just going to do that. Watch how I'm doing it. So I'm going to pull it out from one shoulder to the other shoulder. So this is what I have. I'll straighten it and give it a good press. So just take your time and pull it out very well. I'll press it and show you guys how it sits. So this is it. This is what I have. So this is it. I'll give it a good press. So here is the down part of the skirt part. This is the back. I also lined it because my fabric is not thick. So you don't need to line this if you're using a thick crepe or a crepe fabric too. You don't need to line it. So I've lined it and joined my zipper allowance together. Here is the back. I've also lined the back. You are going to top stitch on the close of the neckline and top stitch it. The armhole also, you don't need to top stitch it, but just close it up and give it a good press. Then join your zipper allowance. If you notice, the side seam for the back, I didn't close the side seam, the part of the ankle. I just closed this part, the ankle, but I didn't close this side seam because there's a way I'm going to join the front so that the side seam will be inside. I'll show you that. So this is the back, and here is the lining for the front. I've joined the darts. This is how it's looking, and here is the front also. This is how it's looking. Here is the front, the skirt part of the front. I've also joined my lining to that. So the next thing now is to press the yoke, and I'll show you how you attach it to the front and close up with the lining. So this is what I have after I've done ironing it. So I'm going to fold it into two equal parts to get the mid point. I just want to make sure that it's folded very well the way that I want. So once I have it, I'll just give it a little notch. I need to know that that is the front part. So there's the, so I'll get my bustier. I'll get my yoke right side facing each other, like right side of the bustier and the right side of the yoke facing each other this way. I'm going to place it. Then I'll get the lining and I'll place it the midpoint also. This is what I have. So I'm just going to stitch by half inch. The yoke, I'm going to just pinch half inch. Then I'll put it inside. It's only this sharp edge that I'm going to take just half inch. I'm not going to stitch anywhere here. Here is going to be free, just half inch here. So that's what you are going to do. So place it this way, place it and stitch. Just back stitch on this, then stitch the lining through, cover the armhole, cover this side, cover the upper part, and also stitch. Then pull over to top stitch. So I'll just go and do that. I'll show you guys next. So here I'm done attaching it. This is how it looks. It's coming out very well and neat. So this is the, and I've top stitch on the lining. Please, you top stitch on the lining. If you see it, top stitch on the lining. And this is how it's going to look. So I'm going to use my hemming gum to hold it. To hold it, I'm going to put hot hemming gum and iron it inside so that it will hold the lining very well because it's not the same color. So here now I'm going to place my hemming gum and use my pressing iron to hold it so that this place will not be moving. So after that, the next thing is to get the back. Here is my back. I'm going to cut 1 inch out for any folding so that it will not have any budging at the back. So on this zipper line, I'll go up by 1 inch. Then I'll slant it to this point and cut it out. So the next thing now is to join the shoulder. I'll get the front and the back. So I'll get the front and the back this way. So I feel that the back will be a bit longer than the front. So there's a little problem here. Like when joining it, there will be extra. There will be extra. So there's nothing to do. It's just for you to fold in, just like pleat it a little so that it will match. Make sure that the armhole matches. If there's any extra, just pleat it a little. If the front is wider than the back, you just pleat it a little and make sure that everything rhymes together. So this is how it's going to look. Make sure that everything lines. So I'll give this place a little pleat. So I'll join the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, is now to close up the arm to join the side seam. So this is the reason why I did not close up the side. And the front, this is the front. So this is the side seam for the front. I'll open it, get the right side of the fabric, the right side of the back, and the right side of the front facing each other. Then I'll use the lining to turn it. Then use the sides, the seam allowance I will brought that. I brought that 1 inch side seam allowance. So that's what I'm going to stitch it all the way down. And I'll also do the same thing to this other part. Then here I've joined the skirt part. This is how it's looking. So then I will now join it. I will now join it. So I'll just do this and join it and show you guys how it's looking. So here I'm done at joining the upper parts to the down parts, and this is my ruffle. My ruffle came out really short. Why? Because I had to that 128 inches length wasn't giving me this full look, so I had to divide. You know that the wideness of my ruffle is 14 inches, so I had to divide that 14 inches by 2. Then I have 7 inches. I had to join it to give me up to 200 or 200 and something just to get this full look. This is very short. I will have to look for another thing to attach it if I want to wear it because it came out really beautiful. So this is the upper part. I didn't really show much like joining the dapper because I have tutorials on how to make this basque whisk and ruffle. So I'll just wear this and show you guys the final look. Thank you. Thanks for watching. It came out really beautiful. So I'll just wear it and show you. This is the back. I may not on my back if I'm going to show it because it's very short. So this is it. If I'm making the video, I'll not on my back. So this is how the back is just your normal back. So this is how the back looks.